Hello guys, and thank you so much for stopping by again and clicking on this video. I know that I have been gone for a few weeks right now, but I started a job, a full-time one from 9 to 5, and I was just getting used a bit to this new routine where I just get evenings during the week and yeah. But I'm back, and I'm back with a very autumny, wintry, coldy video. Okay, so the days are getting shorter here in Germany and the nights are getting longer. So by the time I'm back home, it's already dark and I want to do one thing. It's either be under my sheet and then watch something or just cuddle up with my book and read it. Obviously, that's what bookworms do, but yeah, it's so pretty outside. The fall foliage here is really nice. It's beautiful to watch and it's right outside of my window and I'm so thankful for that every day. But yeah, so I thought about this video and I just want to share with you my recommendation for cozy, warm books for the fall and the winter. These books are feel-good books and books that give you this warm, little tingly, fuzzy, you know, when you're reading them, you're like, oh, that's what these books gave me, and I just thought that I would share them with you, and then you can also include them into your winter/fall reading list, because, yeah, you know, usually in fall and winter we're more in the mood for these kind of books, but of course to each their own, and I'm just giving you my recommendations here, and I hope you like them. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I have contacts on. Now I wear contacts sometimes. I'm not a big fan of these things, but yeah, I had them on this morning and so now they're on. And yeah, so here's me with contacts and no glasses. I think it's the first video ever where you guys see me without glasses in 4 years, so we should celebrate that. Okay, let's start with the warm, fuzzy books. I'm gonna just put my tea right here and we can get straight into it. The first book I want to recommend is a chunky one, and it's Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is a children's classic, American classic, following the life of 4 sisters, the March sisters, Jo, Amy, oh my god, I forgot their name already. Let me try again. Jo, Amy, Betty. Okay, I think I'm just gonna see their names. Oh my god. Okay, so the right order is Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. Okay, so it follows the life of the March sisters throughout the years as they're growing up, living in Southern America during the Civil War, and this book is such a loving little warm thing. So basically it's just small chapters with the lives of these sisters and little anecdotes about what's going on in their lives. They each have very specific character, very specific personality, dreams, aspirations. My favorite is Jo, but yeah, it's just this warm book about them following their life and yeah, watching them growing up, and actually it does become more dramatic as you go on, and this is both the books because it was first published into 2 books but now it's just into 1, and I of course have my very pretty penguin in Parfait in Bloom edition. It just takes part throughout many seasons in the years, including winter, Christmas, fall, but overall following the sisters and their lives is such a warm, I don't know, and you get to learn a lot, and it's full of little advice and their mom teaching them good values. I think that this is perfect for fall and for winter as well. And the movie with Emma Watson is coming out soon, so maybe you should pick this one up before watching it. So that's my first recommendation. The second one is also one I have in an edition of the Parfait in Bloom. It's also a children's classic, and it's also a classic, and a North American classic. It's a Canadian one, and that is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Look at this cover, guys. Oh my god, it's so pretty, right? Now, I think that Anne of Green Gables is just perfect for all year long, but she is the one that says the very famous quote, "I am so glad to live in world where there's Octobers." I think that's pretty much it. And Following Anne is crazy. Basically, if you don't know, she's an orphan, and one day she is sent by mistake to this old couple of sister and a brother. They live alone and they're old, and they ask the orphanage for a guy or a boy to come and help them with their farming, but they send them Anne. And Anne is this girl who's so full of life. She's like, whoa, I've never seen a character in literature like this. So she's so full of life. She sees everything so differently. She's the dreamer. Everything for her is a big picture of colors and sounds and pretty words and pretty everything. And yeah, so Anne arrived and many things change. And this is set on the island of King Edward in Canada. And there are meadows and the valley and the sea, and the description is so vivid. And Anne loves Octobers and fall, and it's so warm and so nice and so fuzzy following her adventures. It's one of my all-time feel-good favorite books, and I would highly recommend you pick it up. Of course, the author continued with the series, so now there's a series where we follow Anne completely, like growing up, having kids of her own, even one following her daughter. So this is a good start, and you can always get so happy when you look at this colorful cover. Next, I have a book set in Paris. I think I spoke about it someday in one of my very old videos, and that one is The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. And this one follows an old man who has a bookshop in a little boat on the sea in Paris, and he's known as the book apothecary, meaning that people come to him with all sorts of problems, health problems, or specifically mental health problems like depression, loss, and he actually gives them the right book that is supposed to heal them in whatever hardship they're going through. And this old person, not so old, one day he sets up on an adventure, and he takes his boats and starts sailing from the sea across France to try to unravel some secrets about a person that he knew in his youth. And it's absolutely beautiful because we've got everything. We've got really nice characters, a tour of France, books, references to a literature, really nice character, nice setting, and I highly recommend this one because I love it and I remember it made me feel so incredibly good. Next we have another book. Well, the protagonist is an old grumpy guy, and I just spoke about this video in my latest summer wrap-up that I will leave for you guys here if you want to hear more details about it. And that one is A Man Called Ove by Fredrik Backman. It's set in Sweden, in I don't know, actually no, it's just set in Sweden, I don't know where it's Sweden, and it follows this guy named Ove, who's super grumpy, but he's always been really grumpy to himself, taciturn in life. And one day he has new neighbors, and they're immigrants. I mean, at least the woman is an immigrant from Iran. And yeah, so we watch this very grumpy guy get to know his new neighbors, and through them other neighbors. And yeah, we just see him become, I mean, he doesn't become anything really, but we just learn to see that there's really a lot of good in everyone. And the ending was so sad. It's so sad but so feel-good sad, and I just wanted someone to hug me so tightly at the end of it. It was so warm, so warm. The characters are really nice, and it gives a very realistic picture of the diversity, I guess, that now you can find in Sweden with all the immigrants, refugees. I just loved it so much, and it just teaches something that there is good in everyone, and you know, people are really more than that what they let out. And I loved it so much, and I would highly recommend it. Next is a book that had to make it to the list because it is the definition of winter coziness and everything, and I think you already guessed that because I spoke about this book quite a few times since I read it on this channel, and I have a full review on it. And this book is The Little Book of Hookah, the Danish way to live well. So you learn all about the concept of Hookah, which is, as I said and I always say, the closest translation in English is coziness. And yeah, most of Hookah is actually during winter because it has this feeling of being warm and inside and having warm drinks and food and cooking together and having friends and just having good books and a lot of fuzzy blankets and warm as the cold is doing its thing outside. You can see it, but you're safe inside, and that's so Hookah. So I would highly recommend you get to read this book. As I said, it's highly informative. You get a sneak peek on the life of Danish people, and you get such a great overview on a very big part of their culture, which is Hookah, and I think it's so important to get to know cultures this way. I will leave you the link to my video here. It's a full review, plus I did also a mini room tour to show you how I can, or how I see myself incorporating elements of Hookah in my own living space. And so yeah, you can go and watch it, and I hope you'll enjoy it. The next books I have, guys, I don't have the actual copies right here, but I have them written on my phone. Okay, so the next one is The Snow Child by, okay, I really need to, Ebony Ivy. Okay, I'm gonna write the right word, the right name somewhere. This book is Winter in a Book. It is set in Alaska during the early 1900s, so it is a historical fiction, and it follows the life of these this couple who grew old and never had any kids, and they decide to, I mean, she actually had a miscarriage, I think many miscarriages, and she never was able to have a kid, and so they decide to leave their lives behind and immigrate to the new Alaska. So at that time America was really trying to get people to go to Alaska and settle there and have settlements, and farmers, because not many people wanted to go there. The wilderness, the cold, it's Alaska of the 1920s, so it's not even the Alaska we know today, but they decide to give everything up and take on this opportunity. The government used to give pieces of land and housing to the people that decide to go there, so they take on this adventure and they move to Alaska. And so as they settle there, something mysterious starts to happen. They start seeing this child who lives in the forest by their house and in the mountains, and she keeps coming and appearing and disappearing until one day she actually comes to them and speaks to them, and they welcome her home, and then we learn the story of that child and everything. And that book was so well written, in the sense where you literally could feel you're sitting in Alaska. I think it's one of the strongest description of setting I've read in literature so far. She did an amazing job at just bringing into her words the atmosphere of being in Alaska. You could literally feel the freeze and the cold throughout the pages. Everything was so beautifully described. The wilderness, everything, you really could feel that you were there, and it was inspired by Russian folk telling, and it's just very eerie and cold and mysterious and so atmospheric, and I highly recommend that one for winter. Plus it's really warm and fuzzy, because this couple, they're just so sweet and nice, and you just want her to be happy, and yeah, I highly recommend this one. So yeah, you should go and pick it up, definitely for winter, a must read. And then finally I want to recommend a book I read years ago, and I still have a very warm thing going on whenever I think about it, and that is A Place Called Here by Cecilia Ahern. Now if you know, Cecilia Ahern is a contemporary Irish author, but her books are very known to always have elements of magic. I don't know if the literature community goes as far as calling them magical realism, but I can definitely see why it could be that. But like, there's always a lot of magic in her books, even if they have completely normal contemporary setting. And this one, I know, if I remember right, follows the life of a young woman who was working as a detective, and she was always fascinated by lost things. When she was a kid, she used to lose things and never find them. It could be socks, books, anything, or even people, and she could not really understand where these things went, and she carried this with her throughout her entire life, and she grew up to become a detective who looks for lost people or lost things. And one day, somehow, she will stumble upon this entry, and it will take her to this place and this word where all the lost things and people go, and it's the place called Here. And from that on, you will get to meet a set of amazing characters, amazing quest on finding what home is and where we want to belong, and throughout this quest we as readers keep having these moments. It's filled with a nice portrayal of human experience, of concepts like home, belonging, choices, things that make us when we're adults. And it was beautifully written. It was 100% well done execution, top notch of the idea. It was beautiful, and I would highly recommend you cuddle up somewhere and just read it and snuggle, and maybe read it around Christmas to get a bit of magic. Yes, I'm not Christian. Yes, I love Christmas. So yeah, that's a perfect little element of magic that you can bring into your reading in the season, because magic warms you. Good magic warms you. And that's what we need. And yeah, I really highly recommend it. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoy my recommendation and you find a little something for you. I hope you stay warm if you live somewhere cold, and I hope you keep enjoying the heat and the high temperature if you are in some places in Morocco or other places in the world. So yeah, I hope you found something. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any recommendation for winter or fall. I will highly pick them up. And yeah. Oh, and also do not forget to follow me on Instagram to get a sneak peek about interesting, cool things I do in my life, or at least things I believe that are cool. And also please go watch my latest travel vlog with my sister. I put a lot of efforts and love into these travel videos, and it means the world to me that you go and you watch them, and it will also make my sister happy. So please go and watch them, and yeah, just enjoy them, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys!